welcome. You're on to Aspheric TV, and this is the morning newspaper briefing. My name is Double Gifts, and I have Mr. Ansibi Clifford with me in the studio. Good morning, Mr. Clifford.
Good morning, Gifts. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And thanks for joining us today. Please, this is the show where we give you the newspaper headlines that made waves to the front pages of various newspapers in Nigeria this morning. I'll start off with the Punch newspaper. The Punch newspaper has it that economic crisis, Nigeria's 9 trillion naira oil revenue threatened, FG blames theft. Oil production crashes by over 28 million barrels, government misses revenue targets. Curb oil theft, cut recurrent expenditure to avoid bankruptcy, experts tell FG. 18 terminal operators owe FG $753 million and 1.61 billion naira AGF. Reps summon MPA boss. Also, he has it that caution your supporters. Police warn presidential candidates, others. 27 killed in 28 political incidents in 7 months. Nigeria's oil production slumped by 28 million barrels between January and July 2022, threatening the federal government's 9.37 trillion naira oil and gas revenue target by the end of the year. The federal government, in the 2023 to 2035 medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper recently presented by the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Dr. Zainab Ahmed, blamed oil production shortings due to pipeline vandalism, crude oil theft and high petrol subsidy costs. The next paper is the Guardian newspaper, and it has it that only 6 out of 54 auto assembly plants running below capacity. Stakeholders list Forex inconsistent policies as challenges. We have since converted our staff in assembly plants to after sales, says CFAO DMD. Returnee excretes 77 wraps of cocaine at Enugu Airport. Also, aspirants drag APC over refund of nomination fees as party expels Umahi's opponents. Of the 28 assembly plants that began operations in 2014, out of the 54 companies licensed in Nigeria, only 6 are currently running and at a very low capacity. According to the available data from operators in the sector, policy inconsistency as witnessed in the non-signing of the Nigeria Automobile Industry Development Plan (NAIDP) bill into law wasn't by lack of incentive to those that invested billions in the automobile assembly projects and non-provision of foreign exchange by the Central Bank of Nigeria for settlement of letters of credit continue to compound the woes of the sector. The next paper is the Nation newspaper, and it has it that IG raises alarm over plot to attack public facilities. DCO abducted in Abia. Gunmen invade school, kill teacher in Nasarawa. It has it also that Southeast, South youths begin mobilization for Tinubu. Future over Muslim to Muslim tickets unnecessary. Various youth groups in the South geopolitical zone have rated the presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu, better than others in the race for 2023, saying that they will work for his victory at the poll. They listed Tinubu's competence, experience, his detribalized character, his performance as governor, his support for youths and his penchant at discovering and empowering talents, among others, as their reasons for supporting him. The next paper is the Daily Trust newspaper, and it has it that 140 days after, FG loses 3 billion naira on halted Kaduna to Abuja train service. The federal government has lost over 3 billion naira in revenue since it suspended Abuja to Kaduna train services in March this year, findings by Daily Trust have shown. Besides, the businesses of hundreds of people who earn livelihood around the railway corridor have collapsed. Lastly, we have the Daily Sun newspaper, and it has it that Atiku Wike comes in Make Ma meeting. Demand for IU's resignation tops agenda. There are indications that barring any last-minute change of plans, the Peace Committee set up by the People's Democratic Party (PDP) presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar and Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike to resolve all contentious issues in the party would meet today in Abuja. Alright, those are the newspaper headlines we have this morning. We'll go on a short break. When we return, I and Mr. Clifford will discuss these headlines with you. Please stay with us. Hello everybody, my name is Dabur Gifts. Keep watching Aspheric TV. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are Aspheric TV on YouTube. On Twitter, Instagram, we are Aspheric News. Bye.
My name is Remigius Nwangu, the National Leader Movement of Progressive Youths of Nigeria. I enjoy the whole world to subscribe to Aspheric TV on YouTube, on Instagram, on Twitter and Facebook. Let us build this big vision together. Thank you.
Welcome to Aspheric News. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for those who have subscribed to our channel. We are happy to have you on our channel. Thank you so much for all your support. But please, for those who have not subscribed, we are begging you, subscribe to our channels. Please subscribe. Please, we are begging you, subscribe to our channel. And while subscribing, do not forget to click on the notification button, the button around it. Don't click for you to get our notification whenever we're on live program, wherever we're covering a live program, wherever we're giving you a news update, wherever we post a new content to our channels. Please do not forget to follow us on our social media handles. On Facebook, official at Aspheric News, on Instagram, Aspheric News, on Twitter, and Aspheric News, on LinkedIn, and Aspheric News. Please, thank you so much for your huge support. Your huge support. Watching is a support. Thank you. We are grateful. But please, let someone know about Aspheric TV, and also to call on us anyone in need our service. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. Mr. Clifford, I think we'll start off with the train story. It says 140 days after, FG loses 3 billion naira on halted Kaduna to Abuja train service. I actually feared this would happen. The closure of the train station was going to cost the government some amount of revenue, and also some citizens have also been affected. You know, people run their businesses in these train stations, and exactly, and these people have been affected. So what can you add to this?
Well, I think these are one of the prices government have to pay for not being able to tackle security as it should be. I mean, 140 days after, they've not been able to prefer solution to resume operation. I mean, these things are not rocket science, you know. That's why when people are of the opinion that the government is somehow being negligent when it comes to fighting insecurity, I can't help but agree with them. I mean, 140 days is a long time to fix issues and get the train back on track. A lot of business have been affected, like you said, and because of the train, some people find it comfortable to work from Abuja and live in Kaduna at some point. Probably they go to Kaduna twice in a week. but now the train is not there. Imagine what would happen to these people who do these shuttles.
And the roads are not safe.
They are not safe at all.
They are filled with bandits, kidnappers.
If you tell somebody to travel to from Abuja to Kaduna, it has to be an extremely important issue. You can't just travel for fun or for sightseeing anymore.
And let's relate this to the kidnapped train victims. This means they've stayed 140 days in captivity, and they've been releasing them in batches. But then
some of them are being released because of health conditions and because of some other reasons that we may not know. And the government have not made any effort to, get them back.
That's well over 4 months.
Yes.
And it keeps stalling.
I think the last news I heard was that the government doesn't want to use force to, rescue the kidnapped
because I think people have come out to suggest that why not the Air Force just throw bombs and all of that, but it will affect the innocent victims there. So let's hope this whole issue is being tackled, because I'm looking at it from the direction of the country being difficult as it is. Cost of living is quite high, and then someone has not been able to, let me say, get paid in about 4 months. These people who work on the trains, the petty traders, all of these people.
It has affected everybody.
Exactly. So you can just imagine the condition they have found themselves in.
Cleaners in the train. They're all now.
All of this, and it's not like there are jobs in Nigeria that you could just easily switch from one job to another.
Well, let's hope that the government gets this issue sorted out once and for all.
All right, moving on. Anger in APC over non-refund of nomination fees. So you recall that during the election for the APC to elect its national leader, it was promised that since it was a consensus, it ended up being a consensus, they were supposed to refund the nominees, and then they have not. What do you think is the possible reason for this?
Should I say people just do not want to do the right things at the right time? When you talk about corruption and malpractices in Nigeria, it cuts down across every corner. What would stop the APC from
doing what it promised?
Yes, the president ordered that all those that obey the consensus arrangements should be given their money back. And it's been 4 months since after the National Convention. And even before the National Convention, the special convention where they elected the presidential flag bearers, the party racked in
lots of money. Because their nomination forms were 100 million naira.
They had senatorial form for 50 million naira. They have House of Reps for 5 million, 2 million, thereabouts. The party made a lot of money. What is the difficulty in getting the details of these aspirants
and refunding them?
And
I think those aspirants were not as many as those who were aspiring for the presidential position. A lot of people came out and bought nomination forms for the presidency.
Well, the issue is not about the numbers. Just do what.
Well, the more the number, the more the money.
It doesn't really matter. They paid the money, and in fact, see, they paid the money to have an election. They paid the money to come for the convention for a contest, and then you tell these people there shouldn't be any contest anymore. It means you have to return their money. It's just the right thing to do.
Exactly. Still on APC. South and Southwest youths have begun mobilization for Tinubu. They came out to say they have scanned through all of the presidential candidates and Tinubu is their choice. And they've begun mobilizing themselves for campaign and things like that?
Well, they are exercising their fundamental human rights. You understand? There's nothing wrong with their choice. It's a democracy. They have the right to support whoever they want to support.
Exactly. Everybody is entitled to
Yes,
their
maybe they
opinion.
see Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the best man for the job. I mean, it's within their rights. They are not doing anything illegal.
Definitely.
So election is about numbers, and you have to match. You have to canvass for votes. You have to convince people why you think your preferred candidate is better.
And I think it's a good thing they are doing, mobilizing themselves from now.
Of course,
I mean, ahead of
every
other
aspirant
parties.
should do that. PDP is doing that in some ways in their local governments, in their states, and at different levels. There are so many campaign organizations that are organizing programs and a whole lot of stuff in favor of their presidential aspirant. I think last week Peter Obi held, I think, a summit or a conference, so to say, in Abuja. He also went to Imo State. These are part of the sensitization processes we're talking about. So it's within the laws. So I don't fault them.
Exactly. There's a headline that said, "Caution your supporters, police warn presidential candidates, others." And also it says 27 killed in 28 political incidents in 7 months. Now this is where I have an issue, where it has gotten violent. I mean, 27 people have died already, and I don't think campaigns have started properly, yet these things are happening already. We've been seeing a lot of political Twitter wars, that's just on social media, people dragging themselves here and there based on their preferred candidates, and it is getting bloody. I think that is quite unhealthy. What do you think about this?
What I think is that we are yet to grow to a point where violence would not get involved in our elections. That's why the National Orientation Agency should step up in their game. You know, this is one of their responsibility at a very sensitive period like this in our nation. They should go about sensitizing the people on the need to stay violent-free during these elections. You don't just stay in the agency and millions that have been allocated to you comes in and then you do nothing. It is an important period that the National Orientation Agency should go around the nooks and crannies of Nigeria, sensitizing Nigerians, especially the youths, about the need to avoid violence in the 2023 election, because we cannot afford to kill each other and cause violence just because of politics. Like, politics will always come and go, but you cannot take back, cannot bring back any life that has been lost during the process. So leaders, political leaders, the ball is in their courts. They should talk to their supporters, their followers, their pressure group leaders. Violence should not be the way forward in this election. I mean, sell your candidates. Tell Nigerians why you feel he's the best. Convince people on the need to vote. Thank God the electoral system has been a little bit favorable in the last 2 elections. We saw votes will count. The highest politicians will be able to do now is buying of votes, because the era of ballot snatching is over in our political system.
Let's hope so.
Let's hope so, because from what happened in Osun and Ekiti State, as long as you are voting with the INEC machine, it's automatically being transmitted. So if this is done and held on to during the presidential election, I think it will reduce a lot of violence. Because even if you take the card reader away, who would thumbprint on it? Who would vote? So it means that polling unit will be automatically null and void. So the best thing every politician and their support groups and followers should do is sell to Nigerians the competencies of your preferred choice, so that they'll be able to make their choices well based on what you sell to them. There shouldn't be room for violence.
And also, these are my thoughts. I feel like your PVC is literally your voice.
Right.
Who you decide to vote for, you don't need to go fighting anyone about it. Personally, that's my mantra. That's how I just move.
Of course.
I feel like this whole back and forth about who the best candidate is what results in all of this violence. And we need to pass this whole ideology of forcing our beliefs on other people. Because you agree that this candidate is the best does not mean that the other person is dumb or stupid for choosing another candidate. So I honestly feel like this can be easily avoided if we start with ourselves, by controlling ourselves and not involving ourselves in vain arguments.
Yes, so
it's going to go a long way, and as you said, sensitization, exactly, that is quite important.
There are a lot of people who may not have the opportunity to get this message you're preaching this morning here, who will be in the villages where we don't have networks, who do not have access to smartphones. Organizations responsible, INEC should partner with organizations. Take this message of no violence to the interior areas, to the grassroots, because this is where you find out that you find youths who are willing to be political tools to cause problems during elections. But if they have the proper orientation, they will reject the offer, because no politicians actually force you to pick up arms to fight
on their behalf.
It is actually bidded for, and if you accept, you collect the money and then you cause trouble. So I think we can do better.
Exactly, we can. So it's just like I said, your PVC is your voice. Hold on to that, because I mean 27 is a huge number to die already.
I have mine. I don't think I want to be violent. I just want to cast my vote.
Exactly. So take the cue from Clifford and just be peaceful and just wait. Election day, cast your votes and move on. Life goes on. Right, moving on. We are told that the IG of police has ordered that police raid bushes and uncompleted buildings. I think this is a security move concerning the insecurity that has been going on in various parts of the country. And then these uncompleted buildings, these abandoned places and also bushes have become popular hideouts for these miscreants. But this is my issue with this development now. Why announce it?
Exactly. It seems you just
why announce it? It's like you've given these people the information and they can just run.
It's
because it's not like you'd say, okay, if they are currently occupying an uncompleted building somewhere and then they hear this news now, it's not like they'll sit there and wait for you to come and meet them. Of course, they will pack up and leave. So it's a good move, because yes, I mean, they've discovered where these miscreants are hiding and things like that. But why announce it?
You see, that's my problem with the Nigerian police. You want to go after criminals, you announce on radio that criminals were coming after you. You
come with your sirens loud.
You find out that criminals are hiding in the bushes and uncompleted building, and then you come on public and say that you have ordered that uncompleted building and bushes should be raided. I mean, these criminals are also on the social media. They also read the news. They also watch the TV. And they've gotten this information. Nobody will remain in those bushes and uncompleted buildings anymore. They might even go to developed areas and rent apartments and operate from there. You see,
they can afford to.
Of course. Fighting insecurity requires intelligence gathering, and you should be discreet about it.
They should really move in silence. Just act.
Yes.
Just act.
You just have to investigate and take action. I think they are abusing the social media. What are they trying to prove? They are trying to prove to Nigerians that they are working.
They are working, exactly.
I mean, we want results. We don't want an announcement of your moves.
It's just like I said earlier, it's a good move. We give them their kudos for that. But then the announcements
have also gotten this information that police have ordered raiding of uncompleted buildings and bushes. Let's relocate.
Because for them to make this move, it means they've done their investigations and then they found where these people are hiding. But why not move in silence?
It is common knowledge that criminals hide in bushes and uncompleted buildings. It doesn't even require any high level of intelligence to know that. And coming from the police force, you're telling who does not know in Nigeria that criminals
are in the bush,
hang out in the bushes and uncompleted buildings. So I think they should do better. Nigerian, I don't expect this. I won't applaud this. I think something better should be done. Drastic measures should be taken.
You mentioned discretion. I think that should be the watchword for
they should
them.
Be discreet about their investigative moves.
Exactly. All right. Lastly, it's about drug trafficking. It says that a returnee excretes 77 wraps of cocaine at Enugu airport. I mean, that's so large. That's so much. One person. And then I found this interesting to talk about because I've been seeing this a lot on the news, on social media, here and there. And then I can't understand it. I mean, why put yourself at such a risk?
It's all about money, you know.
And looking at it, the money that you are talking about, that it's all about money, it might not be, let me say, some serious amounts of money, if I could call it that.
I'm not a drug dealer, but I know that the drug industry is one where large money comes from.
But this is it though. It's just like almost every sector in life generally. The bosses at the top get the biggest share, and then these people who do the dirty work, so to speak, get the crumbs.
Well, that explains life. All fingers are not equal, you know. You cannot do without this set of people. This set of people cannot do without the bosses you're talking about. That explains it. You mean it all boils down to our system. The youths are not gainfully employed. If you do your background check, one of these guys could be a graduate. You must have studied through the university, graduated, and no job, and you just find yourself in a situation where you get this information. Say, if you can travel with this,
quick money,
you're going to just get this. I mean, you just consider it's just a trip of about 48 hours to 3 days, you know.
Yeah, but
just take the risk.
It's cool that the trip is not long.
The truth about this is that why you see these issues keep coming up is because some of these people that are being arrested now do not go to jail. They end up getting bailed. So these guys know that even if they are caught, they will be granted bail. You understand? And sometimes the drugs are given back to them. We have a very, very porous system that is decaying. I mean, government are partners to most of these people. In fact, some of the big how do these things get into the country whereby youths consume them in a large number? Because the fight against drug trafficking has been there since I was an infant, and it keeps increasing. Drugs keep coming into the country.
It's just like I said, I've seen stories, lots of stories lately concerning things like this.
I mean, there's a proper way to check these products coming into the country. If there are no sabotage, these items will be restricted. If there are no insiders, these items will not come into the country. I mean, there are countries in the world that have taken very strict measures to reduce drug trafficking in the country, like Malaysia. If they see you with a parcel of drugs, you don't need to try you don't need to go to court, you're just killed instantly.
You're in possession of it. But this is this point you just brought up. Sometimes unsuspecting people get involved in this. I mean, this particular person, he excreted it, so apparently he must have ingested it and all of that. But I saw a particular post concerning this drug trafficking and stuff. an unsuspecting passenger. Someone just gave her a parcel. Okay, just hold this for me. Let me use the bathroom or something. And then next thing, she was ambushed and then drugs. So
Well,
sometimes,
unfortunately,
so like that law that you said, you will just be killed instantly if you're found in possession.
That's an unfortunate incident. I mean, there are CCTVs, you know, in every environment. So if that is the case, it could be traced.
So I think people should actually be careful as well,
especially at the airports.
Exactly.
Like that. You don't just accept something from
not just the airports.
stranger.
I've also seen another that someone gave her a parcel to deliver to the country she was traveling to.
Yeah.
And I don't know what sort of curiosity it was, a slippers, and then she opened it and there were drugs in it.
It's crazy. So we need to be careful.
Yeah, so people could go to any length. So delivering parcels for people, also be careful. And then even this one where you get to ingest it and then they pay you and all of that, I don't think it's worth it. It's not worth it, because what is the guarantee?
Delayed and it bursts inside.
Exactly. What is the guarantee that you won't get caught?
Well,
health-wise is very risky,
like they say,
and then
no
you could get caught.
No reward. That's their mantra.
Alright, that's about it for today. Thanks for joining us. My name is Double Gifts and I've had Mr. NCB Clifford with me. Please join us tomorrow and also subscribe to our YouTube channel on YouTube. We're Aspheric TV, and also please follow us on all of our social media platforms. On Instagram and Twitter we are Aspheric News, and on Facebook we are official Aspheric News. Thanks for watching. Bye.